Howdy. So I'm back here with the boat. As you can see, I've scraped off from about here to here. A lot of this primer is still staying on. I can scratch it with the putty knife, but I don't really want to scratch the gel coat. So I think this is probably going to be the last time I scrape or apply the goop on it and then scrape. I think what I'm going to end up doing is scraping it the best I can. I'm going to probably get some Windex or some water and detergent or like dishwashing detergent, and I'm going to wash all this stuff off, and then I'm just going to come back and sand it. So I'm going to continue scraping this, and then I'll come back, I'll turn the camera on, I'll show you what I have for sanding supplies and kind of my plan. If with any luck, I'll be able to get through scraping this and then a little bit of sanding here before I have to go home in an hour or so. So anyway, I will check back with you, and or you can check back with me, one or the other, when I'm done scraping this, and we'll identify the next process or the next step, I guess. Through the magic of video, it's now maybe 20 minutes after I started that. It's really not hard to go through and scrape that off. As you can see, it didn't get a lot off. I could go in with that scraper or maybe even get a harder scraper and go in and scrape that down. But I really worry, I don't really worry, but I do worry about just gouging the gel coat. You want to retain as much gel coat as possible. So I think what my next plan is here is I'm going to wipe this off again. I already sprayed it down and wiped it off once. I'm going to spray it down, wipe it off again. I'm going to work on putting the swim platform back together. And then while I'm putting the swim platform back together, this will dry off a little bit. And I'm going to come back. I have a 5-inch sander. It's just got hook and loop pads. And then I have various types of sandpaper just to get through some of that. I'm probably going to start with 400 grit. This is 400 grit from Harbor Freight, and that seems to work just fine to get that off. I might find that some areas I want to go a little more coarse, so I also have some 220. I have some 80 in my box over there too, but I'm not going to go 80. It seems like that's just a good way to eat through the gel. Um, Found these, they're cheap, they get the job done. Found them on Amazon. But I have these in various grits, anywhere from like 600 to 800 to 12 to 1500. So this is generally what I will use for my wet sanding to buff that coat back up to about 1500 grit so that I can compound and polish it. So I'm going to work on the swim platform. I'm going to wash this off again. And then I'm going to do a little bit of sanding, and I'll come back and I'll kind of show you what it looks like after I've sanded. I'm going to probably focus on the areas outside of the trim tabs and the swim platform because they're just in the way. It's going to be hard to get in there with the sander, and I'm going to have to get in there with my hands. So I'll focus in the middle where I can get the sander, and then I'll come back and I'll show you what that looks like. Well, I'm back. I don't know how long that took. That probably only took about 40 minutes. If you look over here, you can see the areas that it was hard to get to with it was really hard to get to with the palm sander. I'm just going to have to come back here with a sanding block, probably something like paint sticks, and with some sandpaper wrapped around them and do that. Um, all over up in here. I will be able to get in there, and you can see back in here, it was really hard. So one of the issues that I had on the side of the boat, and I have it here too, is these little bumps. I don't know exactly what causes these. These are little divots that are into the first layer of gel coat. Um, on the side of the boat, I tried to take them out and it failed miserably. I ended up having to repatch the gel coat. I'm not sure what, if anything, I'm going to do with this. The other thing to note is I mentioned the top half of the boat is definitely more faded than the bottom half of the boat because it's been bottom painted for so long. So if you look right in here, you can see this is the original color that the boat was, and this is the faded color. And then you can even see a yellow tinge to it, which you don't really notice when you're just um, walking around the boat until you get this close to it. So what I think I'm going to do is I am going to probably wet sand this. I'm guessing 800 or 1000 grit, wet sand it all the way up to the rub rail, just to blend it in the best that I can. But my plan now, I'm exhausted after a full week of work and whatnot. My plan now is I'm going to come back. I got to get a sanding block. I don't have one. I'm going to come back with some 400 and get in the nooks and crannies. Then I'm probably going to go back over it with 800. I'll probably wet sand that. I wet sanded the 400 too, just to keep the dust down. The dust here is nasty. I wore a mask as well, but I just don't want to inhale that. So I'll probably wet sand at 800 and work my way up from there. I'm going to research these divots, see if there's a better way to do it. I don't know that there is. I might just be stuck with them. Anyway, that's it. This is going to be part three. I don't know if I'll have part four tomorrow. I actually have two dolphin tours tomorrow for with Jekyll Island boat tours, so I'll be driving the dolphin boat all afternoon tomorrow. So I'm not sure. I'm not going to get here in the morning. Probably not going to get here afterwards. So maybe 2 days I'll be back, and we'll attack this again. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. Like and subscribe for part four, and we'll see where this goes. So I appreciate it. Thank you.